Another month and another all-time high for Bitcoin. So in February, we saw Bitcoin push up to above $58,000. Ended January around, where was it? About 33,000. Plenty going on throughout February. So let's take a look at things in a bit more detail. So hitting 58,000 plus during February meant that for the year to date, the price of Bitcoin has doubled, continuing this trend, the latest leg of the trend that started, when was it? I'd say the middle of October from around the 11,000 mark. Clearly nothing moves in a straight line. Bitcoin's no exception, with plenty of volatility, hitting those highs up at 58,000, 21st of Feb, and then by the end of the month, trading as low as 43,000. So some really big swings on Bitcoin. But what's the next move? Is there even more to come following these all-time highs? In this video, I'll talk a bit more about what was driving it during February, what the latest report on Bitcoin says, what to watch out for during March. Then we'll come back, look at things in more detail, and see if we can get a trade set up. Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com, and I thought we'd do an update on Bitcoin. Of course, me here in the UK, I can't trade it from a leveraged point of view due to the changes made by the Financial Conduct Authority, but it's still available to buy as physical. And of course, it's still a really popular market with traders and plenty of our viewers. So we thought, well, let's do an update and see what's been going on. As ever, it hasn't been dull. So as usual in this video, I'll talk about some of the recent news during February for Bitcoin, how we've seen the price move, where the opportunities might be. We'll jump back onto the platform. We can still look at the charts and see, really, is this trend continuing? Can we expect $60,000 plus Bitcoin in the not too distant future? As usual, if you're watching this, if you could click on subscribe, it does help support the channel. And also, we do these regular live streams on a Friday now, 2:30 UK time. If you're subscribed to the platform, to the YouTube, with a notification, that alarm bell clicked, you get a notification off YouTube when we're about to go live. Anyway, let's get into Bitcoin. So I think you can sound like something of a stuck record when it comes to Bitcoin and what it's doing, but yet again, we saw fresh all-time highs in February for the price of Bitcoin. The latest all-time high just above $58,000. Of course, one of the big stories in February was the filing that we had from Tesla, Elon Musk's electric car business. So Tesla have to provide filing to the stock market because they're a publicly quoted company, and the company said that it had bought about $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin back in January. So far, at least, it does seem to be sitting on a tidy profit. Of course, this caused a fair degree of excitement with people thinking, well, will it mean that further down the line, other companies perhaps decide to shift their assets into Bitcoin? Will it go more mainstream? And that's another thing that helped keep the price well supported. There's also been a bit of excitement in recent days, perhaps responsible for the boost higher on Monday this week. We had a report from the giant investment bank Citi, a very long report on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And within this report, Citi said that Bitcoin could be the currency of choice for international trade. Again, of course, statements like that are always going to cause excitement, because that's the thing for any cryptocurrency. The more mainstream it gets, the more widely accepted it gets, it does help the price. And I think that did help give a boost to the price earlier this week. Although some people have been quite dismissive of this report. They're saying, for example, there's a statement in the report from Citi saying 1/3 of small to medium-sized businesses in the US accept Bitcoin. Again, the critics would say that statistic is just wrong and undermines the credibility of the report. Make up your own mind. The report's out there if you want to see further details. As ever, it does, I think when it comes to cryptocurrencies, it invites and inflames passionate opinions on both sides. So this is where we are. So at the moment, some say that Bitcoin is gearing up for the next bull run, fueled by fears about inflation, with some saying that has Bitcoin taken the place of gold as an inflation hedge? Others are saying it's just a stimulus-fueled bubble that is going to go pop and be very painful for anybody who's in it late. For me, I think the trend is still up. From a trading point of view, from a trend following point of view, you can't deny the trend at the moment. So is this latest move to all-time highs for Bitcoin. The sign of further strength to come. Should we be targeting 60,000 plus? Let's look at the levels. Then we'll go back onto it and look at the chart in more detail. So I think the most immediate hurdle, the latest all-time high, 58,320. I think that sort of area from the 21st of February. After that, I think 60,000 looks like an obvious psychological problem. Lots of support on the downside. The most immediate one is 43,000, the 28th of February low. And this shows you the volatility of Bitcoin, why I think it can be, from a traditional trading point of view, a difficult market to trade, because it can swing around 30% in a week there from that all-time high to the latest support. Anyway, let's put some color on these numbers. Let's look at things in more detail, see where the opportunity might be. In the latest leg higher, whenever we've seen Bitcoin hit fresh all-time highs, it showed there's plenty of momentum behind the market, and breakouts have been a profitable way of trading this. I think the most extreme recent version, if we went back to those famous 2017 highs, just a high of 20,000, just ahead of 20,000, we did see Bitcoin back in the middle of December break through those highs. We had the breakout and the price moved higher. Let's just zoom in on that trend from October. So there's the move through 20,000. Price moves higher, pauses, and again, we get the break. I think that was on the Tesla news in February, the break through those old highs around about, ahead of 42,000. Price moves higher again, sells off, and this is where we are now. So as usual, there's plenty of volatility day to day for this one, or week to week. But if we looked at it as just any other market, so if we pretended this was the price of a share, then clearly the trend is still up. We've got that trend support from October. So that's what a 4.5 month trend now that we're in on Bitcoin. Trend support coming in down at 28,000, which ties up pretty much with these lows. Jan the 4th lows around 27.8. Bigger lows from third week of Jan around 28,750, that sort of area. So if we did see the price crater from here, there's still an awful lot of longer term support a bit further away. We've had more recent support. The lows, I always like looking at lows just before a market pushes higher again to a new high for the trend. And here we've got these lows, 10th of Feb lows around 43,700. So I think that has proved to be a pretty good level. It poked below it on the 28th of Feb, down to 43,000. So we did see, a bit of a move through that old support, but it snapped back pretty quickly. And I think this is the thing with Bitcoin that perhaps is difficult for traders who've traded markets like I have over the years, that you need to give it more room. The market swings 30% in a week or so. So if you're going to trade it from a more medium term point of view, like a swing trading point of view, you need to give it room to move around. Looking at the indicators down here, as is often the case in a strong trending market, the RSI, we've got a 10-day RSI on this chart, went overbought from the 8th of Feb all the way, stayed overbought to the 22nd of February. So again, would have missed out on that surge, really, about $10,000 higher. So I think it can be perhaps RSIs can wrong foot you, I think, when it comes to strong trending markets like this. At the moment, it's trading around 50%, so it has backed off. If we put some Bollinger Bands on there, volatility has dropped slightly during March as the price has sold off and consolidated. The middle line on the Bollinger Band here showing a 20-day moving average, which is pretty much where Bitcoin is now, that 20-day moving average coming in around 50,000, that sort of level. So Bitcoin is trading just below that. Lower band support, again, coming in pretty much on those lows, those recent lows from the 28th of Feb. So for me, from a short-term trading point of view, any weakness back to those late Feb lows looks like a buying opportunity. Let's flip it over to the hourly chart. You can see, I think, this support a lot better on the shorter term chart from about 42.5 through to 45, a good band of support for much of February and so far as well into March. So for me, I'd still be happy to be a buyer. It's perhaps looking a little bit weak at the moment, but if we dip back down to the mid 40,000s and saw the buyers come back out, there's an obvious big level there, the other side of 42,500 for stop. So for me, medium term, the target is, or medium to short term, the target would be for a run back up those 21st of Feb highs at 58,000. If we break those, 60,000 seems a logical target. It's only a couple of $1,000 above that level. But for me, the 42.5 one is the big support to watch. If we start to break below that old low, 42.5, 43,000, perhaps we'll see some people late into this may be tempted to be sellers. So I think we could see the price come under some pressure and perhaps dip below 40,000. But again, I think when we saw some stability, if we saw some stability after a fall, that looks like a buying opportunity. So for me, in a nutshell, the trend is up. We've got trend support coming in at 28,000. If I'm a short-term trader, an obvious place for stops is the other side of 42.5, 43. If I'm worried there's going to be a bigger sell-off, I'd still be looking for it to be pretty well supported if it dipped below 40,000. So it looks like just a classic buy the dip market from a price action point of view, looking for a run back up to those most recent highs and then through them and on to greater things. We'll see how the next few weeks pan out. That's it for the update on Bitcoin. Let us know what you think. Is it the natural successor to gold? Is it a stimulus-fueled bubble? We read all the comments, so it'll be interesting to see what people think. We're going to leave things there, though, for now. So from me, David Jones and Capital.com, good luck with your trading. For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.